I'm going to start off with a personal sit rep on toilet paper. You heard right, toilet paper. I'm happy to report here from the TNP bunker that our family stash of toilet paper, TP, is holding out pretty good during this shelter-in-place order. We have approximately 3.5 rolls left. You see, we'd have more, but Mrs. Nutnfancy has started to cook again during this shelter-in-place order. And as you can imagine, that may lead to a greater use, you know where I'm going, right, of toilet paper. And so I didn't account for that. Okay, so that kind of sucks. 3.5 rolls. We'll be okay, right? How long is this going to last? Not that long, right? Now, running out of toilet paper would be a crappy deal. I know, it's a bad joke, lame humor. I'm known for it here in the bunker. I am. And yes, I am kidding. We have more than 3.5 rolls. And I'm also kidding about Mrs. Nutnfancy cooking. She does not cook, guys. She hasn't cooked for over 20 years. I'm not making that up. She does not cook. Maybe some baked goods. She'll do that. But other than that, You're looking at the cook right here, man. I hate cooking. I know I have the show Cooking with Nutnfancy. It's fun. I love my cooking. Hey, I'm just saying, what I cook is phenomenal, but it's like 2-3 hours of work in the kitchen, clean up all the mess. I'd prefer not to cook, but I have been cooking more. Yes, that show, by the way, has revived, Cooking with Nutnfancy. You'll see it post first on TNP Patreon. That's my donor service now. You should be a member. Join now. It's never too late. Don't feel dumb for joining late. Never too late. Just come on over. Love having you. Stay there forever through thick and thin. And we have good times over there. In fact, in Patreon last Sunday, we had a TNP live online meeting. And I don't announce these. I just do it. That way I can keep the, the overwhelming factor lower for me. If 8,000 people are in the chat room, I'm just like, I can't handle it. So I do these no notice. It's just like, hey, I'm going live in a half hour. Jump in the chat room, ask me questions. We'll talk back and forth. I know a lot of TNP Patreon members, a lot. It's a smaller community. And I don't know, I just got to know those guys pretty good. I know their screen names and have conversed personally with them on the phone as well. Anyways, join if you want. If you don't, I still love you. Thanks for watching the video. Speaking of that live feed, and this will get to the heart of what I'm going to talk about in this video. No, it's not toilet paper. I may circle back to that. I mean, life basically boils down to toilet paper, doesn't it? Yeah. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. I asked those guys in our live stream, I said, hey, how are you guys doing? During this whole COVID-19 thing, the shelter-in-place orders, social distancing, social isolation, I asked them, and I'm going to ask you right now, the general TNP audience, how are you doing? I mean, rank yourself 0 to 5 stars right now and comment. 0 stars is not good. I mean, it's like awful. And I'll tell you what, if there's a way I can still put a poll in the video, I don't think that I can do that anymore because they just do cards now. But if I can, I'll do it. If you don't see it, that means YouTube won't let me do it. I'd be interested in the numbers. 0 stars is like you've lost the will to live. You have no hope. 5 stars is everything is awesome. I'm good to go. Not worried about anything. My job's looking good. I got plenty of money. I got freeze-dried food, canned food. I got plenty of ammunition, lots of toilet paper. Life is good. Yeah, so rank yourself. The guys in Patreon, I think if I was to aggregate their responses, probably 3 to 3.5 star responses is what I was getting. Which, considering with what's going on, is pretty good. That's pretty good. 3 to 3.5 stars with the stress that we're undergoing as a society, as we are changing our culture. Do you sense that? We are changing our culture. So the way we used to live, I don't think will be coming back. Not in its, its former glory. We're in a kind of evolved society. It's going to be different as we move on from COVID. You might sense that. So anytime you change something, it's stressful because people are used to doing it a certain way. They're used to being comfortable in their lives with their income levels they've had, and now there's this traumatic event. It's societal, by the way. It's not personal. So everybody's going to go through it to a lesser degree or a greater degree. And we have to regroup, and we have to soldier on, and we have to create new lives with that new reality. Okay, and that's what I've always promoted here in the project is I'm a realist. Okay, I don't like living in a fantasy world and saying, hey, things would be so much better if they were just this way. I like grabbing hold of reality, shaking it briskly, seeing what falls out, and adapting to that. And really, that's what this video is about. And it's about that response you just gave. So maybe some of you guys are answering 2 stars, maybe 1 star. I hope not. Maybe 2.5 stars. And maybe it's not you that has the problem. It might be your wife. It might be your kids who are not going to school. They're not allowed to go to school, and the weeks are cranking by. Soon it'll be months passing by, and everybody's in the same house, living a life they're not used to. Everybody's stacked on top of each other, and you are, and I'm going to talk about this, abiding by the shelter-in-place order, okay? So the stress levels within your family, whatever that is, it might be a mom, dad, maybe you're a young guy and you're living with your grandparents. Maybe you're alone and you don't have anybody, and that you feel like your stress levels are going very high because you feel isolated. You don't feel like anyone's out there that cares about you. And by the way, that's false because you have a community right here in the Nutnfancy project. You have people that care about you, especially in the Patreon side. And I'm not saying this to promote the donor service. I'm just saying what I see in the Patreon community, it's a smaller TNP community. It's like the cream of the crop. They know each other. They have their own forum. They talk with each other, and there's a lot of support there. So maybe I circle back to that, the online support thing, but getting back to whoever you are, your family situation, your situation, maybe you just feel really bummed out and that you feel like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm going to make it through this just mentally. Well, I'm not going to say everything I'm going to give you is perfect. I'm not going to say that I have any magic pill for you to suddenly make your dark sky turn blue, but I do have some ideas for you, okay? And I might put things in perspective. And by the way, I'm going to say almost no matter how bad things get, I would probably say most of these things. Now, I don't think personally that things are that bad yet, other than economically. I talked about in my last sit rep that I feel like it's a tsunami coming, that the ocean floor cracked, displaced a huge amount of water, and this wave is just rolling to the coast right now. We haven't hit it yet. We're just starting to feel it, and that is people won't have money. They can't make their mortgage payments. They can't make their rent payments. They won't have money for medical reasons. If they can get medical stuff, many have lost their jobs. If not, they're going to lose their jobs. And so all this is going to create this huge economic tsunami that's going to have all types of effects, as I've been discussing, that we really don't understand at this point. And it's just going to ping pong all over society, and we're going to be without really important services. Maybe it's electricity. Maybe it's natural gas. Maybe it's food deliveries. Maybe it's gasoline. Maybe it's, I don't know, just peace in our neighborhoods with the police forces functioning. I think it's going to get worse. I like being a realist once again. However, hope is not lost. Previous generations have gone through a lot worse than we're going through right now. And they somehow regrouped and soldiered on. They regrouped and soldiered on. I heard a story the other day, great story, and this young woman was married, and her husband was shipped off to war during World War II. And they had a farm. I forget where they lived. I think it was in the southeast somewhere. And so they had a, 100-acre farm, and her husband shipped off to war. She is pregnant, and she has a young baby. Her husband's gone, doesn't know when he's going to be coming back, and now she has to till the farm all by herself. So she learns how to drive the tractor all by herself. She has her little toddler sitting next to her on the tractor. And by the way, guys, don't forget she's pregnant. She made it through. She made it through. She was stronger for it. Doesn't mean when she's on that tractor dealing with all the stress levels she was going through that she's like going, oh, this is awesome. Generally in stress events like this, whether again societal or personal, You're not going to be going, this is awesome. You're going to be going, this sucks. But with the passage of time, with the restoration of all the good things we're used to, or most of them, rule of law especially, services, emergency services, goods and services, when they come back, then we kind of relax and we look back and we go, wow, I am so much a wiser person for having gone through that. And if you don't believe me, talk to your grandparents if they're still around. Some of them went through World War II. They went through very hard economic times. Talk to them and they will put things in perspective for you. We will get through this. It's not a fun time. It's going to be a bleak time, and it's probably going to get worse. But guess what? We're going to get through it. And you heads of families, whoever you are watching this video, and please share this video with everyone to give them hope, maybe give them a smile or two. Just relax, regroup, pray to your God in heaven. Say, hey, give me the wisdom and the strength to be a good leader to this family. You do it. And you say, listen, I'm at my wit's end. I don't know where to go. Talk to your Heavenly Father and just ask Him for help. I'm dead serious when I say this. I'm not joking. Seek the Lord above. Yes, I'm a religious person. I don't wear it on my sleeve here. Let me see. Do I have a religious patch here? Nope. But I don't shirk it either. And I don't apologize for it. I don't apologize for my faith. I don't apologize for any of that. I will never do so. And so as these times get more bleaker, I think you'll see more and more people turn to God and go through a humbling process. And maybe that's good. Maybe that's good we go through that as a society, because I think it makes us stronger, more resilient, and more moral in the long run. And I think all that is good. That's how this nation was founded. It is the very foundation of this nation. And the more we get back to that, the sooner we get back to that as a nation, the better off we're going to be. Sorry for the rant. Sorry for the rant. We're going to get through this, but let's talk about day to day. You're at the house. Let's say you've got 3 kids, and they're going stir crazy. Okay, they don't have school. Mom's there, you're there. Maybe you're working from home, and you're not going to your work. There's a lot of people who aren't allowed to go to work, and maybe they're doing it via computer. Okay, but everything's under one roof. And again, as I mentioned, all this stress is packing up, and you're living in a way you're not accustomed to. How do you deal with it? All right, I have some ideas. You ready? I have some ideas. I'm excited for these ideas, actually. Very excited. First up, and this is what people don't get a lot. This is the number one way, not the number one. I mean, I'm not going to say these are rank ordered in terms of importance. They're not. But it is up there. A lot of people forget that you need balance in your life. You cannot have 100% recreation in your life. You have to have some suck in your life. In fact, I would say you need about 50% suck in your life. That things that you look at and you go, I hate this. I hate doing it. I don't enjoy it. But you know what it does? Is it gives you that perspective. That when you have suck in your life, when you come across something good, some time off, the ability to watch a movie, the ability to be with your family, you go, wow, oh, this is awesome. I really, really appreciate this because I'm not doing that. How does that apply to your situation now? Am I saying you need to create some suck in your life? Hey, Nutnfancy, you told us we need to suck less. That's in shooting. Yes, there is a name tape that says that. I'm not sure if we have those at Nutnfancy Big Cartel. Check and see. I don't know. Yes, I am saying you need to have things that you don't really like doing in your life for balance. You need work. You need work in your life. Yes, even at home. The bad 4-letter word, work, the W word. Whatever it is, you need to work. You need to stay busy. There's a lot of ways to do this. For me, I'm blessed to have you guys. I'm blessed to have the Nutnfancy Project, and it is a lot of work. I can do 8 hours a day, every day, no problem. I will never, ever run out of work, of things to do. I'm not a gun tuber. I'm not a knife tuber. I'm not a watch tuber. I'm in a gear adventure channel. And so I have all types of content that I can do. And so I have a ton of work waiting for me. And I can do a lot of it at my residence, right? I don't have to go outside. I do have to go out there to test the gear, to do adventures, and I'm going to get back to that too, but a lot of it I can do indoors, right? Am I saying you need to go out and start a YouTube channel? If you want. What I'm saying is that you need to have something that engages you day to day that is work. Maybe it's doing a project that has been awaiting your attention in the house for a very long time. And it's a big project. Laying concrete, building a fence, putting in an irrigation system, building a new room in your house, replacing your roof. And let's say you don't have the skills or the knowledge to do it. Well, you're watching me. That means your internet's still working. That's good, by the way. Your internet's still working, so you have all the knowledge you need. Let's say your roof needs to be replaced. You're gonna go pay some guy $12,000 to do your roof. Guess who has time now? You do. Guess who can save, I don't know, $5,000? You can. You go do it. Get your boys up on the roof, teach them to work, teach yourself how to roof, find a place to find the supplies. Hopefully they are available. Get the project done. And that will be the suck you need in your life. Yeah, go do that. Go roof on your own house for 8 hours. And then give yourself some time off. Go watch a movie with the family. Go have dinner time. Maybe play a video game. And you let me know if you don't have balance in your life. One reason guys are so miserable right now is they're not producing balance. They're on the video game paddle 24/7, week after week. And that is a shit existence. I'm not saying they're bad, but to live that way day after day, no, you've got to have work. Work first, that 4-letter word, and then play. What I do is I reward myself for having worked. I have to do some tabletop reviews. I have to do some gun modifications. I have to do some vehicle modifications, anything related to TNP, and I work. And then I go, okay, I've worked enough today. I can go watch a movie. I can go watch a YouTube video. And I do. I don't consume my own genre. I don't like it. I'll go out of genre and watch certain videos and I go, that's fun. But I feel like I've earned it, right? So that's what I'm asking you to do, is get out and earn it. Don't do 100% recreation in your life during this shelter-in period because it will rot your soul. Just saying, it will rot your soul. Have projects. Make a journal. You should start a journal right now and say, hey, this is how I'm feeling. These are my fears that I have as the head of the family. Maybe you're all alone. Maybe you have kids later and they can read your journal that you kept during the COVID-19 scare. And maybe later in their lives, 40 years thence, they'll read your journal and they'll go, well, how did Dad get through this? Well, he was pretty miserable and he started doing this. He ran out of toilet paper, then he started roofing, then it really got shitty. No, I told you I'd circle around back to that toilet paper thing. Just kidding. But do journal. I do. Every day I journal. And I write everything. I complain in my journal. I talk about my family. I talk about my productivity level. And I rank it according to colors. A green day is a pretty productive day. And I told you this in another video. In another COVID-19 video, I orange it out. So an orange day is something exceptional. Sometimes it's a lot of work, but it's something very memorable, out of the ordinary, that is very difficult to achieve. I recommend you do keep a journal, color code it according to your own life of what you want to reward yourself for. And you will do that through your journal. You'll reward yourself. You go, oh my gosh, I got a lot done today. I did a whole side of the roof. I'm just using that example. And give yourself a green day, maybe an orange day for that. That's one thing you can do. And by the way, a journal is work, a lot of work. A lot of work. It takes commitment to do it daily, and it just takes a lot of time as well. But what do you got now? Time. Might as well start it. And by the way, when things get back to normal, keep doing your journal. Organize your whole house. I'm sure your house, if I was to visit it, looks like a hurricane hit it. There's probably crap everywhere. Clothes stacked up. You got guns over here, magazines over here, LB over here, tools over here, video games over here, toys over here. Organize it. By the way, I'm going to make a video on how to do that. Keep watching. You'll see it. Get to organizing, bro. Yeah. Back up all your family photos. You've never done it before. They're probably still on your damn phone. How about you get those photos off your phone, you label them, and you back them up to a hard drive? That's probably a week's worth right there. Right? Maybe you print some out if you can. Yeah, increase your preparations. One of the things I've been doing lately is improving not our bug out kits, because they were pretty squared away, but the bug out kit clothing packs. So for Last Suspect, for Mrs. Nutnfancy, they were not good. And so I've literally spent like 5 days getting those done. Granted, a 5.7 earthquake helps spurn me along. And then Boise just had a 6.5 this week. So we've got COVID-19, we've got earthquakes, probably economic collapse coming. Thumbs up. Keep smiling. How's your toilet paper looking? All right, seek balance, work, earn your time off. Don't just sit there and play. Or don't just sit there and watch the television and not produce. I tell my boys, it's like, I have a phrase, and it's like, always be producing. I know it's not proper grammar. I don't care. Always be producing. It's like that clip with Alec Baldwin. He's like, always be closing, whatever that was. But always be producing. Every day you should get up and you should produce something. Value to your family, value to your fellow man. Always be working. That's the first thing. Here we go, moving on. Number 2. Again, in no particular order. I'm not saying this is gospel. It isn't. But you need to exercise. Exercising reduces your stress levels. You know this. There have been multiple studies proving this. Get out and exercise to the point where you're sweating. Doesn't mean you need to go do something crazy. Don't go cuckoo over it. You don't have to go out and run, 50 miles. But if you can, do it. No, get out and do a brisk walk. Do a, 4-mile walk. And by the way, don't be afraid to do it alone. You don't have to go with a family. I'm going to get to that, by the way. Every person in your family is responsible for their own fitness level, and they need to exercise. Yes, even your kids, they need to exercise as well. There needs to be a program in place, a routine in place. This is how I'm going to exercise. Maybe you walk, maybe you jog, maybe you go downstairs and hit the weights. Okay, I have a Bowflex. It's ancient, but I love it. It works. My wife has got on me over the years to just get rid of it because it does take up some space. I don't use it like religiously, but I love the Bowflex because it's pretty compact for what it is versus, a ton of weights in a whole area. I'm keeping it. I love my Bowflex. So between bicycling, walking, I don't jog anymore, not usually because of my knee. I have a bad knee, 4 surgeries, half my meniscus gone. And Bowflex, maybe a little bit of free weights like bench pressing. That's something. I feel good after I do it. Do it. If you have a treadmill, awesome. You might want to get out of the house though. Okay, and I don't know where you live or what your shelter-in-place orders are, but I really don't care what they are. I think you should be able to get out if you want to get out. I would have no government telling me ever that I can't get out and do a jog. You can't get out and do a solo jog. I'd be like, screw you. I'm going. I'm just telling you, that's my approach. No government can do that. So get out and jog, get out and walk briskly. If you can go on a hike, do a hike. Do a hike. You need to exercise, keep it going. Keep the kids active. There's YouTube videos of channels, I believe, for kids to help them exercise. So they can actually watch a YouTube video, copy the exercises. One of them is called Joe Wicks. He has a live stream for kids to exercise or something like that. Look it up though. And do they need that? Not really, but maybe your kids are the type they need that electronic interface in order to do it. But there's a lot of ways that kids can get a lot of play and get their energy levels down. So Macy, the mountain dog, my female black lab, I can tell you what. So I run her once or twice a day, usually on the bicycle, sometimes on an electric scooter. But I run her, and I can tell when I don't run her, she is like up here. She's at her energy levels up here. She's just amped. She's real grabby. She's just into everything. But after I run her, her energy level gets down here to a manageable level. Sound familiar with your kids? Okay, if their energy level's way up here, Mom, I'm bored. I don't know what to do. They need to work via exercise. I mean, really hard exercise. Running. I actually forced my kids growing up to run on our treadmill. I've talked about it on camera. Depussification, I think I talked about it. And I was like, you're going to run on the treadmill. And it was a huge battle, but that battle in the family I won. And maybe it's time you fight that battle. The kids need to exercise. There's a huge obesity problem in this nation, huge, both with young people, both with adults. Maybe we can help cure that to some level through all of this. Okay? Exercise. It's a gift. And once everybody exercises, that, by the way, classifies as that 4-letter word, work, everybody's stress level's down, everyone's happier. And you feel like you've earned some downtime. Next, I say forget about yourself, get out and serve others during this shelter in place. I know we're supposed to social distance. You're not supposed to get in people's face. That's not necessarily what you have to do. How about you just make little care packages for your neighbors? Maybe have a little bit of chocolate in there. You might have an apple in there. You might have a funny note in there. Like you could write in there, certified COVID-19 free. Just thinking of you. Hope you guys are doing well. Maybe you can have one of those little individual packs of Frito-Lays in there, and you make 20 of them for your neighbors. And that's your daily project. Well, one day. So you and your family create these little care packages for people who might be doing a lot worse than you, by the way. And you go drop off these little care packages to your neighbors. You may not even have to talk to them. You just ring their doorbell, walk back to the sidewalk, they open it up, they spray it with their Lysol, with their masks on, and they go, "What's this?" And you just say, "We're just thinking of you, just a little something." Serve other people. Think about other people. I guarantee you, someone near you or someone you know is doing a lot worse than you. A lot worse. They might be at a 1. They might be at a 0. So watch out for that. Watch out for others. I find that the more I worry less about myself, the happier I am. The more I can look outward and say, oh my gosh, that person's way worse than I am. Something happens. Something magical happens, and that thing is called happiness. Sometimes it's really easy for us to get depressed in life when we're so inwardly focused. Me, 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 me. Oh, poor me. Oh, poor me. I can't do it. I don't have this. I can't talk to my friends. I can't go to my work. Get out of that shell, and I'm not really faulting you for that because it's a natural human tendency, but break free from that and just go, I'll get back to myself in a minute, but first I'm going to go help that person. And there might be some other things you can do. Maybe it's yard work. Maybe it's reading a story to them on the phone. Maybe it's something simple like that, just talking to them. Maybe it's a simple phone call. Hey, I felt like you might need someone to talk to through this. Would you like me to talk to you? And just visit with that person for a while. And I think you're going to be amazed at the joy that comes in your life from that, of going to someone else's situation and finding out, oh my gosh, these people have no food. They've lost both family members have lost their jobs. Maybe there's something you can give them out of your stash, out of your resources that will help that person. Seek to serve others. Forget about yourself during the shelter in. Through all this, pay them a visit. Do anything to make them happy, make them laugh, make them smile. And I think, again, you're going to find yourself in losing yourself, says TNP. Serve others. How about this? And this is pretty random. Stay with me. And I actually started TNP with this. Let's say you have kids in the house. Okay, and I'm going to pretend they're exercising. You're doing your part with that, but they're still looking for something to do. You don't want them online all the time. I don't think that's healthy. Maybe you allow them some video game play. Maybe you don't. There's all types of opinions about that. I have my own. But you want them to have real life experiences, which I applaud you for. How about you set up a shooting range at your house? Ta-da! Shoot up a shooting range. Set up a shooting range. And we did this early in TNP, like in 2008. In my basement, the house I lived at the time, we set up a shooting range. And actually, we shot 22s down there. And I'll show you a picture of my bullet trap, which I still have and which I still use. It's awesome. So you get a bullet trap, you put wood around it, you have a really good backdrop, and maybe you have a long, concrete basement in your house, and you can shoot there. It can be BB guns, it can be pellet guns. Maybe you live out in a rural area and you can do it in your backyard. Or maybe you just have a normal neighborhood and you can shoot Daisy BB guns back there. No one's going to know. Have a good backdrop once again. Be safe. And what do you know? There's a project. You can have shooting competitions with your kids. You can give awards. You can print out certificates. You can have all kinds of things for your kids. And by the way, you're teaching them a life skill, a life sense of responsibility. Teaching a child to shoot, to properly manage firearms is a gift from dad. It's a gift. And it will transfer into freedoms for future generations because that kid will have an appreciation for the Second Amendment. In the meantime, you're providing entertainment. You're providing a skill set. And man, you can have a good time doing it. Go look at my video that Last Suspect and I did exactly what I'm talking about. And we went out in the desert area for this. I'm trying to remember where we did it at. It's like kind of in the mountains, actually. And we set up army men. We had matchbox cars, we had tanks, and we had our Daisy Red Ryder BB guns, and we're just plinking them away. And by the way, it's a rush. It's way fun. Don't think it's stupid. It is way fun. Just Red Ryder BB guns. And you're just shooting your tanks. You're having competitions. You're pretending you're calling in air support. Oh my gosh, I want to go do it right now. It's way fun. It really is. Set up a backyard or basement shooting range. That is a tip from me to you on how to occupy yourself during this shelter in. Okay, here's another one, and it's a broad topic, and man, do I love it. Oh my gosh, this is so excellent. Get out of the house. Okay, I think some people, I'm going to circle back to this, I guarantee it, because I don't like some people's approach during this whole shelter in thing. They feel like they got to have the door locked, the windows pulled down, the shades drawn. Oh my gosh, I'm going to die. It's the Black Plague. No, it isn't. It's not like that. You kind of want to live normally within your house, and that means go out and use that backyard you got. Go have backyard events. Okay, Dad, you need to have backyard events. And you, maybe Mom, are the organizer for these backyard events. And I'm assuming a traditional family, of which I'm a huge proponent of. But maybe it's not a traditional family. Maybe it's just you with your aunt and uncle. You can still do it. Maybe it's you with your grandma. You can still do it. Maybe it's just you alone. Okay, maybe you can't do it then. You need more than one person to do this. You could play catch with yourself. No, that wouldn't work. But there's all kinds of fun things you can do in the backyard. And I'm just going to tell you what we like doing, what we've done as a family through the years. Badminton is awesome. I love it. You can buy a set for cheap. Set up a badminton game. Go out there when the weather's good. Play. Put some music on. You're outside, you're not indoors, you're enjoying some sunshine. Maybe you do it in the middle of a snowstorm. I don't know. But you're outside. And let me tell you, there's something about being outside during this sequester in period that's really going to clear your mind. Okay? Getting sunshine is good for you. That vitamin D, just getting that in your skin makes you happy. Says me. Put the sunscreen on, by the way. Wouldn't that be a bitch? You go through all this and then you die of skin cancer. Oh my gosh. More of that lame sense of humor. We also played and do play sometimes. I mean, the kids are grown now, but croquet. Set up a croquet game on the lawn. Way fun. Oh my gosh. Again, put the music on. And maybe while you're doing that, you set up a barbecue. Yeah, if you can find fresh meat. I'm happy to report in our stores, we have seen fresh meat come back in. I hope that continues. Who knows in the future? Maybe the shelves go bare. Doesn't mean you can't do this. Maybe you do it out of your food storage. Hey, we don't have fresh meat, so we're going to barbecue some beanie weenies. Ugh. Just make the most of what you got. Okay, and the attitude's still the same. The attitude's kind of an upbeat, recreational party attitude. We're going to have a party. And doing that four-letter word, work as a family, helps prepare you for that. So if the family worked hard in some project, maybe they've earned it, and so they're really going to appreciate this downtime. Right now, where I live, the restaurants are still in operation, guys. Maybe it's the same where you are. They're just doing carry-out. A lot of them are still open, and you should still be going to those restaurants as much as you can financially do. Go out there as a family. Again, earn it. It's a night on the town. Hey, we're going to go out to eat. We're going to eat in the car. And then while we're eating, we're going to put our iPhone on the dash, and we're going to watch a cool video. A Nutnfancy video. Yeah, so you're eating in the car and it's kind of a night out. It's different. You're not in the restaurant. You're in your car. It's still a good time. Go out and eat. You should still support your businesses. I'm really afraid for those businesses, by the way. Play catch. Play Frisbee. Do that. It's fun. Your kids don't know how to play Frisbee? Come on now. That's on you. Teach your kids how to throw Frisbee. And if you don't know yourself, teach yourself first. There's probably a YouTube video on it somewhere. Teach yourself how to throw Frisbee, then teach your kids. Fun. That's fun. I love doing it, man. I still do it with my kids. Like, hey, you want to go play catch? Just talk. Standard dad stuff. Come on now. Do treasure hunts in the backyard or on your property. Maybe you have some acreage. Do treasure hunts. Get some of those plastic Easter eggs. I don't care if it's Easter or not. Put like $1 bill in them and really hide them good and tell your kids, okay, here's a list of what's hidden out there. Like 50 eggs. Have at it. Have some up in trees so they have to crawl. And they can see it and they got to crawl up there and learn how to climb a tree. Have some underwater. do a really challenging Easter egg hunt. And the prizes in there could be fun, like, maybe a Kinder egg, chocolate, maybe a Matchbox car. Do that. It's fun. It's fun, especially your kids are little. They're really going to appreciate it. And you can use that as a reward, by the way. So if you do so-and-so, let's say you're homeschooling, you do good in your studies, we'll have a treasure hunt on Saturday. See? So you want to have goals. You want to set goals during this time of things you just don't give yourself automatically. You have to earn them. You have to earn them. Your family has to earn them. Do that. It will make you happier. Make birdhouses. That's a great backyard event. From scratch. There's all kinds of information online of how to make a birdhouse. Figure out where to mount them. What birds are in your area. What kind of species of birds need housing in your area. They probably lost their jobs last year. Yeah, the birds did. So they're not doing good. So make them a house. Fun project. And by the way, notice all this can literally be done at your house. You don't have to go to a park to do it. You don't have to go out in the woods to do it. You're basically at your residence. Okay? Build a garden. You're going to need it. Right now, build a garden. Design it. Put the soil in. Put the irrigation in. Figure out what you're going to grow. Figure out what the output of that garden is. Have every family member a part of building that garden and maintaining it. Again, it's the 4-letter word, work. It's going to take work to build and maintain and harvest and weed. And you know what? Good on you guys, because work makes us better, makes us stronger, less entitled. And thank heavens there's people in this country right now during all this shit that know how to work. It's the farmers of America, it's the truckers of America, it's the tradesmen of America that are carrying us through. It's those guys, the men of America and women of America who know how to work. Healthcare professionals. They're putting in 12 hours a day to get food on our table, to keep gas in our tanks, to keep electricity flowing, to keep the internet working, keep our phones going. This just doesn't happen. It's because people know how to work. So hopefully we can be contributing members of society in the same level, that we work and we teach our children to work and we teach them the appreciation of work and its benefits of work. Oh, I feel so much better after that rant. So much better. Build a garden. Do it today. I don't think it's going to cost you that much to do it. And then plant the freak out of it. And that way, by the end of this summer, maybe into fall, you're harvesting. And by then, you may really, really need that crop. I'm just saying. Okay? You've been warned. Build a garden. How about you do a little camp out in the backyard with your kids? Hey, that's a good idea, Nutnfancy. Yeah, you got the tent. How about this? How about you do a simulated bug out with your BOK and you go, hey kids, boom, earthquake just hit. We're out in the backyard for a night, at least a night. We can't go in. Well, actually, I want to say I don't want you eating out of your BOK because you need those supplies. So maybe, I don't know, pour out some nachos from the kitchen or something. But sleep in the tent. And everyone practices the art of camping. The art of making a fire. Maybe you can do that in your backyard. And maybe it's really miserable. Maybe it's rainy. Maybe it's snowy. Perfect. Camp in the backyard. Because again, it gives us that balance. It gives your kids that balance. And I mean, even if your kid's like 5 years old, I'd still do this. I did it with mine. I have picture proof. I'd take them out snow camping, tactical doodle, last suspect. They hated it. I was like, I don't care. You're still coming. We'd be in like 3 feet of snow out there. Not in our backyard. We're out in the woods. Ask TD about it. He hated it. But he's a better person for it. Go camping in the backyard. You're still at your place of residence. It's just with your family. You're abiding by social distancing. I love that one. BOK practice. Backyard events. I could probably come up with 10 more. You get the picture. What can I do in my backyard right now to give us a variety of life, to have us work, to have us celebrate our time off together, be creative, on we go. How about a family book club? Now, I could say a family website club because there's a lot of great information online for sure. But I think as this progresses and maybe as things get worse, and they can get worse, I think getting back to old school ways is commendable. And one of those is getting back to books. And hopefully you do have a library in your house of good books, of things that, impacted you when you were growing up, maybe later in life, and you want to pass it on to your kids. Have a family book club, and maybe you guys as a family choose one book to read, and then we will meet within, a few days, 5 days, and discuss the book. What did you get out of this book? This is what I got out of it. And you have one of those nerdy book club meetings. I think you might be surprised how much comes out of that and how much your children will eventually, not initially, appreciate it. What you want to do is learn in life. Let me say that again. You don't want to just recreate. You just don't want to float through life. You want to learn. I feel like I'm always learning. And I talked about how I go into YouTube, right? I do. But anytime I watch a YouTube video, I'm not just there to be entertained. I want to learn something. I want to come away from that experience and go, man, I did not know that. I didn't know that you could do that with a roll of toilet paper. It's amazing. But I do want to learn. And I feel good when I learn. I don't think we should ever arrive in life. And I hope you teach your children this. Don't ever go, yes, I've got the perfect job. I don't ever have to do anything ever again. No. We're always striving. We're always reaching for the next level. We celebrate our victories. Absolutely. We take a few moments in our lives to go, wow, that was a lot of work. I'm so glad I did it. And then we set new goals and we keep pressing on. Where do I want to go from here? How do I envision my life 5 years from now, 10 years from now? And I want you to dream big. I want you to teach your children to dream big. And I want you to just ignore what's going on in society. Things are going to get back to normal. Go with that. Books can be a huge accelerant in this process. You can learn through other people's mistakes. You can learn about history, great people who have overcome amazing adversity. I mentioned that earlier in the video. Have a book club. Read. And by the way, part of that, getting back to religious thing, can be the scriptures. Yeah, read the scriptures, man. Get closer to Christ. I don't apologize for that. You'll become a better family for it. There you go. Part of that, I did mention you could have like a family online club, favorite websites, and go learn about this. And for sure, online is a great resource. I am advocating going back to books, old school, but there are some other things you can do to virtually travel right now that you have the internet. And obviously you have the internet because you're listening to me talk right now. Why don't you go on a virtual tour of someplace cool? I bet you there are virtual tours of all kinds of places in life. I know for a fact that the Farallon Islands up there off the coast of California have a camera on them. And you can control that camera and you can pivot around and see different areas of the islands. It goes down sometimes and it comes up. Sometimes the resolution's not that great, but some views are really cool. How do I know about that? Because I've been thinking about going out there on my Zodiac and I'm not brave enough yet. Yes, I'm not. Maybe one day I do an adventure out there. Go out there on the Zodiac and I'm checking sea condition. I was like, oh, they got a camera on the Farallon Islands. And I like scan around. And as I'm scanning, here comes this big old pelican, lands right in front of the camera. It's cool. It's cool. I felt like I was there. Yeah, so go take these virtual tours that are free for the taking. Zoos have virtual tours. I bet a lot of them have cameras in the cages of the coolest animals they have. And you get in the queue. Maybe you're, fifth in line. And you can just kind of scroll around and look at the tigers. Teach your kids about it. It's like going to the zoo and you didn't even leave the house. You can tour art museums of every kind. Cities have cameras that you can go look at. Virtual tours are cool. National parks have them. So you can go to Yosemite. I think they have a live feed. Or if it's not live, they have it in a format that you can digest it. And you can go see the sights. Maybe it's a panoramic, high-def video that you can scroll around and see what it looks like. And it's cool. And maybe that can start a discussion with your children, with your wife of, hey, man, that's cool. And maybe then through that virtual tour, you can make plans when things normalize. So you go, well, we can't go now because all hell's breaking loose. Probably going to get worse. But when things normalize, we're going to go to Yosemite. When things normalize, we're going to go to that zoo. We're going to go to the Smithsonian Institution. That would be a fun thing. There you go. I like that talking point. Family book club, maybe virtual tours. Next one. I love this one too. And I will thank my wife. No, she still doesn't cook, but she does do this, and she's always done it. And I think it's a really cool way to build the personality of your family, to record what has gone on in this family. And by the way, in your family, by the way, what's going on right now is historical for your family. Again, getting back to my advocacy for you to journal, keep a diary of what is going on. Don't lose those precious moments. Part of that is, this is the point, scrapbooking. Yes. And I will say, even for guys, I say get into scrapbooking. Let me tell you, in our family, we're a traditional family, but we don't go, oh, well, that's a man's job. That's a woman's job. We've never been that way. For instance, I sew. I'm the sewer of the family. And if you don't believe me, just ask Miss Nutnfancy. Next time she comes on our live feed for Patreon. You Patreon guys, just ask her, hey, who does the sewing in your family? I know you're going to remember that question. And she'll answer you. She'll go, oh, he does. Who does most of the cooking? I do. Those are typically perceived as being women's tasks, right? We don't do that. It's just, well, I don't know. Who's the best at it? Okay, and so I would have no problem if I had bandwidth in my life. I don't, even during this period, but I would have no problem of scrapbooking. If you don't know what that means you take your family photos, of which you have a lot, and you put them in a really cool format on pages. You write what happened, a short caption, who was in the picture, what were you doing, what were your thoughts on it. You decorate that page, you put it in a binder, and it's there for future generations, and it's pure gold. Your future generations will thank you for it. And get this, Mrs. Nutnfancy has forever scrapbooked in the old-fashioned way, just like I described. So paper, she has these little decorations, she'll glue on the page, she'll print out the photos, old school. But what happens is we get these really thick binders and we've run out of space to store them. Now she uses something called Shutterfly. And no, I don't get a dime from them. But I guess Shutterfly is a program, and you can do all of this digitally, if I can speak, digitally. There we go. And you rearrange your photos, you put your caption in, and they have all types of really cool ways you can decorate your page. And it is a huge project. Because if I know you, once again, all your photos are still on that iPhone that you're lucky you haven't lost, by the way. You haven't backed them up. Now, that was a separate project, right? You're going to get all those photos off. You're going to label them. You're going to get them organized. You're going to back them up to a hard drive. Now, we're going to use them for scrapbooking purposes. And you get into your scrapbooking application, or you do it old school style, and you create these very cool family memories for your children. And you'll find that gives them an anchor of their lives. And they'll reference that. Oh, I love that scrapbook Mom made for me during, the sequester period. Scrapbook, moving on. How about you, number 8, by the way, if you're keeping track, this is number 8. How about you cook new things? Assuming you can get those things at the grocery store. I'm going to assume you can. And even if it's an involved recipe, yes, I have been kidding about cooking. I have been kidding about toilet paper, and I'll probably do it in the future as well. But cook something really unusual and delicious for your family. Something you haven't done before. Maybe it's a really involved ethnic dish. Maybe, something, an Indian dish, Mexican food. I love all that stuff. I love ethnic food. Cook it up. Paella, is that what it's called? The Spanish dish with rice and shellfish in it and shrimp. Paella? Am I saying that right? I don't know. Make it into a family event. Sell it to them. Say, hey guys, on Friday, I'm cooking this awesome recipe. You're going to love it. Maybe you don't. But either way, new food on Friday. You've never had it before. And by the way, tell them this. I get first dibs on the TP. Yeah, something like that. But make it into a family event. Something to look forward to. By the way, that is a very good thing to do in your family right now while you're sheltering in. Have things to look forward to. So on Friday, new food. It's delicious. I've been working on it. Money back guarantee. All right, maybe don't sell it that hard, but just tell them good food coming on Friday. I bet your kids are excited. Maybe they aren't. Maybe they only like macaroni and cheese, but it's a good opportunity for them to enlarge their horizons. So cook new stuff, learn, improve your cooking skills. And yes, I still hate cooking. I'm not saying I love it. Even with this talking point, I hate it. I like eating it though. Moving on. Oh, I like this one. Oh my gosh. A way to entertain yourself, to work during the shelter-in period and to produce value for your family. How about you adopt a shelter dog? You get a family pet if you heretofore do not have one. Maybe it's a cat. I really like dogs though because they take a lot of work. And that's what you have time for right now, a lot of work. My dogs that I have, Allie the mountain dog who's passed on, now Macy the mountain dog, take a lot of work. I do all the training myself. I do all the in-shape stuff myself. I talked about that. I run her twice a day. Exercise, train, and you're never done training. Why not get a dog right now? Yeah, there are downsides. Hair in the house, yep. Always babysitting, yep. More expense for the family, food, veterinary bills, yep. And yes, I hear all of that, but guess what? Megaphone time. They're worth it. The value a dog brings to your house is well worth it. That's what I say. So does Mrs. Nutnfancy, so does Last Suspect, so does Tactical Doodle. Get a dog in the family if you do not have one and watch what happens. Suddenly things will transform. Stress levels will be reduced. Laughter will increase. It will. Macy is such an awesome dog. She is so fun. She lives on two legs. We call her the freaking kangaroo. She's always in mama's business, dad's business, TD's business, suspect's business. She wants to know what's going on. And more importantly, she wants to know what you have to eat. She sleeps with us. Oh my gosh, she's so fun. She runs with us in the X4. She is just a great family companion. And if you decide to train her, and I absolutely advocate that you do so, that is a huge project. There's lots of books online. The one I've always used is Water Dog by Richard Walters. Now, granted, he's focused on producing a hunting dog, but his approach to dog training to understand the dog mindset, especially for retrievers and labs, is phenomenal. And he wrote those books in the 1960s. Speaking of good books, he has another one called Family Dog. Get those books or others like it and use it as your Bible to train your animal. And do it consistently, and you will be rewarded for the next 10 years for doing it. Now's the time. What a great time to get a dog, add a dog to your house. And maybe you just got one before you even watched this video, but you didn't really think, oh, trainer, I was going to pay someone to do it. No, I never think that's as effective as you doing it, because they need to look to you as the alpha, a very strong alpha in their lives, not someone else who's trained them. Whether it's mom, whether it's you, whether it's grandpa, whether it's aunt, uncle, someone needs to be the very strong alpha over that dog. And you need to set down the law. This is acceptable behavior in our pack. These are the commands, the vocabulary I want my dog to know. And I'm going to consistently train her over and over and over again. I'm going to start young. 8 weeks is when I start. I get my pups at 8 weeks, if at all possible, but even older dogs can be trained. Train a dog, get a dog, and watch what happens to your family's happiness if you don't have one already. Yes, there's lots of poop. Lots of poop. She might be asking for toilet paper. Moving on. Number 10. I love this one. Oh my gosh, I love this one. You guys need to get away from each other within the confines of your house. Counterintuitive, right? On the news, we've been hearing, hey, it's really great to be together as families again. Everybody can be, I don't know, sharing the same room all day, like all week, like all month long. I'm here to tell you that is a recipe for conflict. I don't care how close you are to your family members, your wife, your kids, you're going to get sick of them. That is normal. Get the hell away from them, if at all possible. I'm going to talk about in the last talking point the way you should really do it, but let's just say within the confines of your house, how do you do that? Go to your own space, man. If you're working, just tell the family, hey, I don't want to be bothered for 20 hours. Okay, 20 is excessive, but you could say, hey, for the next 4 hours, don't bother me. I'm in my place. The wife could be in her place. The kids can be in their place. Maybe the siblings are separated. That's okay. Doesn't mean you don't love each other. Doesn't mean you're not a family. It just means you're creating space for the sanity of everybody under that roof. How do I know this? Well, the first way is I've gone through it myself. Okay, I know for a fact if I'm together with Mrs. Nutnfancy all day, every day, we will have disagreements here and there. We're actually really compatible and we get along very well, but there is a point when I get sick of my wife and she gets sick of me. That's normal. That's not abnormal. Doesn't mean we don't love each other. It just means temporarily we hate each other's guts. That's normal. Get the hell away from each other, okay? Within the confines of your own room. Have rules like, hey, this is your space, this is my space. I want to go over here, you go over here. I got my man cave. Leave me the hell alone for a while. And it's healthy for you to separate. Don't be in the same room all the time because you're not used to this way of living. Maybe you're used to going to work and having that alone time. And now everything is just like right in your face. And you're like, I can't breathe. The kids are on me. The wife's on me. You're feeling stressed. She's feeling stressed. Everyone just needs a retreat. By the way, this is another way I learned it. Sailors do this as well. On a sailboat. I watched the movie Ice Blink years ago, and I learned it. I told you I love learning. This is one of the things that reinforced what I'd known, but it really taught me that it can be effective in a very small space as well. In Ice Blink, they talked about on a sailing boat, they had two kids. They had a mom and a dad, and they talked about how they had to socially isolate from each other in that small space to stay sane. Now, when I say to stay sane, I'm not saying they're going to go insane. I'm just saying to not have that family friction. You know what I mean? So to be happier. And they described in that movie, I'm going off memory, but as I recollect, they described, hey, this corner of the sailboat was mine. And when I'm over there reading my book, you're not to talk to me. And they all said the same thing. It's like, that's okay. And then after a period of time, whatever it is for that individual, I'll come back and I start socializing again, but it will be on my own terms. You follow? So don't feel compelled to always be socializing with your family members. Moms, that includes you. Maybe you feel like that 24/7, you've got to be engaged with your family, your husband and your children like this. Oh, and they're right there. And again, you just feel, the hell? Get out of my grill. Create space in a healthy way. And again, don't think this is abnormal. Don't think it doesn't mean you don't love your family. Quite the opposite. You just need to get away. You just need to be away from other people for a while. And again, that's that balance I talked about. That's that teeter-tot of social existence. We like other people. We like to be around other people, but there's other times when we kind of want to be alone. And because when we're alone, we don't feel like we have to entertain. We don't feel like we're obligated to other people. And it's just like we can just recharge. Okay, so don't be afraid to create downtime in a solo way in your family. And then you get back together. Then you're recharged when you do come back together. Maybe it's during family meals, a backyard event, a work exercise like in the garden, putting the roof on, whatever. So try that out. Create some solo time within the confines of your house. Don't feel like you always have to be together. And then last, wrapping it up. How long have I been talking? Oh, dude, like an hour long. Yay! More philosophy from TNP. This is probably the most important one. I should have led off with it. Yes, it is number 11. I didn't give an even 10 this time. And that is, are you really trapped within your house? Are you? Okay. I think some people are thinking they're trapped within their house and they're not really trapped in their house. I think being really trapped in your house or your shelter would be this. Nuke war, fallout. You can't go outside. You're living off your supplies. I'm just assuming you have some fallout shelter. I don't know, a railroad car buried 30 feet under the earth. But you're there and you're living off your supplies and things above ground are really, really bad. Fallout. Now that would be sheltering in place. That would be trapped in your domicile. And that would suck. I think some people are acting like that's going on right now. And it's not. Get in your car, go out. Go out to eat. Get in your car and go someplace to hike. Go into wild places. Go camping. Hey, but they told us not to go out. They said don't go out into groups. If you social distance, if you stay away from other people, who cares where you go? And there's lots of places to go, even where you live. That's what I've been doing. Shelter in place. Okay, why? I went out to the desert yesterday and was out there 10 hours with last suspect testing guns. Look at the tweet flow that I have out there. Like, I don't get it. I mean, why are you stuck in your house? And by the way, here comes a mini rant. The government can't tell you to stay in your house. Okay, what they should do is say, hey, we strongly recommend the following precautions. I'm all for social distancing. I'm really advocating the wear of masks. Maybe you wear an infectious disease shield on top of that. Yes, I'm serious. Wear that. Gloves, yes. Play it safe, but go live your life. Stay away from other people. Don't go up to some person's face. Don't do that. But are you really trapped at your house right now? That's my point. I bet you think you are, but you're not really. Okay, in my city, you're allowed to go out and do essential functions. Like if you need to go to the grocery store, go to the grocery store. Restaurants are open. They're okay with you going through drive-thrus. Go for that. I mean, essential function might mean you need to go out for a hike to get away from everybody. Go on a hike. Go on an overnight camping trip. Now's the time. Why wouldn't you? I think some people are taking this to the literal extreme. We're not in that underground bunker after a nuke war. Will we be, analogous to that in the years to come, in the months to come? I hope not. But it could be. But right now, we've got internet working. There's gasoline in our cars. We've got sewage working. We've got electricity. Rule of law is still in place, so I can go camping. No one's going to shoot at me. Get out. Go do an adventure. Maybe it's a solo adventure, part of that getting away thing. Getting the hell away from your wife, maybe. Or your kids. Go do it. Bro, go do it. Pack up and go. Just go car camping. Hey, I'll be back in 2 days. But, I'll be back in 2 days. Gone. Come back. Tell me how you feel. Refreshed. Chilled out. More relaxed. And by the way, you didn't go through toilet paper while you were at the house. Just went au natural in the woods. Yes. Get out of the house. Okay. Just because they're saying shelter in place, whatever the hell they're calling it. Okay. I mean, if you want to take it literally, that's up to you. But I'm going to go live my life until I have a really good reason not to, and the government doesn't tell me how to live my life. They don't. And I think most viewers in this video will totally agree with what I just said. Like, it's a bunch of bullshit. Hey, you can't go outside your house. What? How about I go outside my house and I just am smart about how I do it? Can we do that? Jeez. That's it. 11, not 10. I know. Awkward number. 11 ways to maintain your sanity during the shelter-in process of the COVID-19 scare and possibly the coming, I'm sorry, but it is coming, economic fallout. Try these things, come back to the video, throw down a comment, and tell me how they work for you. I think a lot of people will be sharing with you in commentary below things that I forgot. This is just a smattering of ideas that I have. You're going to learn it from other people, smart people, creative people below in the comments. Hey, he's on to something, and this is what we're doing as a family to keep us happy, to keep us motivated, to keep us upbeat, to beat away depression, to not give up hope, and to get us on that rank ordering of how we're doing higher. So maybe before you watch this video, you're at a 1, a 2, and hopefully after watching this video and feeling my attitude, I'm very hopeful, I'm not scared, I'm not fearful through all this, and maybe applying some of these things, maybe you can come up to a 3, a 4, a 5. Now, 5 might be pushing it. 5 might be pushing it. Let's get realistic, but a 4 would be fantastic. Anything above a 3 you're doing great. You really are. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. Thank you for being part of the project. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk to you guys. I'm very humbled by it. I don't want to cry. I'm very humbled I have TNP. I'm very humbled I have my audience, my donors that keep the project going. I'm humbled that I am in some very, very small and insignificant way able to impact your lives. I hear from you guys all the time. Oftentimes I'm reading your emails and Patreon of how it's impacted your lives, my philosophy videos, and I'm crying when I do it. But it's from a pure place. I want you guys to know that. Sorry. And I'm just hoping the best for you guys. I am worried about you. I want you to be happy. I want you to be hopeful. And I want you to know that this is a temporary thing we're going through. And it will suck, but suck is good. Suck purifies us. It makes us more humble, makes us more God-fearing, and it makes us better people, stronger families. Thank you for watching. Nutnfancy Project is here to stay with your support. Signing off, Lieutenant Colonel Nutnfancy. We'll see you.